Benny the Brave Bumblebee. Once upon a time, in a sunlit meadow filled with blooming flowers and the sweet scent of nectar, lived a cheerful little bumblebee named Benny. With his tiny wings and fuzzy golden body, he loved nothing more than buzzing from flower to flower, collecting nectar, and feeling the warm embrace of the summer breeze. One bright morning, as Benny hovered over a bed of daisies, he hummed a happy tune to himself. The sky was a brilliant blue, and the meadow was alive with the sounds of chirping crickets, rustling leaves, and the gentle whispers of the wind. It was the perfect day for exploring. As he dipped his head into a bright yellow flower to sip some nectar, Benny suddenly heard a soft sniffle. He paused, his tiny antennae twitching. Was someone crying? He looked around curiously, scanning the meadow with his big, round eyes. Near the base of a tall sunflower, Benny spotted a little butterfly, her wings trembling as she wiped away a tiny tear. Her delicate wings shimmered with shades of blue and purple, but they drooped slightly, as if weighed down by sadness. Benny fluttered closer, landing gently beside her. "Hello there, my name's Benny. What's wrong?" he asked kindly. The butterfly lifted her head, revealing teary eyes. "Oh, hello," she sniffed. "I'm Lila. I got lost while flying with my family. I don't know how to get back home." Benny's heart ached for her. The meadow was vast, with endless stretches of flowers and tall grasses that all looked the same. It would be easy for a small butterfly to lose her way. "Don't worry, Lila. I can help you find your way back," Benny said confidently, his wings buzzing with excitement. Lila blinked in surprise. "You would do that for me?" "Of course! That's what friends do," Benny replied with a warm smile. "Where do you live?" Lila's wings fluttered slightly as she thought. "I live in the butterfly grove, where the tall lavender flowers grow, but I don't know which way it is." Benny nodded thoughtfully. "I've seen those lavender flowers before. I think they're past the big oak tree and near the bubbling stream. We just need to find the right path." Lila's face brightened with hope. "Really? Oh, Benny, that would be wonderful, but what if we get lost?" Benny gave a reassuring buzz. "We won't. I've been flying around this meadow for a long time. I know lots of places. Stick with me and we'll get you home in no time." Lila hesitated for a moment, but then took a deep breath. "Okay, I trust you." Benny grinned. "That's the spirit. Now let's get started." The two of them lifted into the air, their tiny wings beating in harmony as they soared above the colorful meadow. Benny led the way, staying close to Lila as they flew over fields of golden sunflowers, patches of clover, and clusters of red poppies. Lila looked around in amazement. "The meadow is so big from up here. I never realized how many flowers there are." Benny chuckled. "That's why I love exploring. Every day there's something new to see." As they continued their journey, a gentle breeze ruffled their wings. Benny noticed Lila wobbling slightly in the air. "Are you okay?" he asked. Lila nodded but looked nervous. "The wind is a little strong. I'm not used to flying this high." Benny slowed down, flying closer to her. "Just follow my lead. Keep your wings steady and flap in a rhythm. Like this." He demonstrated, his wings moving in a smooth, even pattern. Lila mimicked his movements, and soon she was flying more confidently. "Hey, that helps," she giggled. Benny beamed. "See? You're doing great!" As they flew further, Benny noticed the tall oak tree in the distance. "We're getting closer. Just past that tree, we should see the stream." Lila's wings fluttered with excitement. "Oh, I hope so. I miss my family so much." Benny gave her a determined look. Don't worry, Lila. We'll find them. I promise. And with that, they continued their journey, soaring toward the great oak tree, where more adventures awaited them. Benny and Lila flew side by side, the warm breeze carrying them toward the towering oak tree in the distance. The meadow below stretched like a patchwork quilt, filled with colorful blossoms and winding trails. The scent of wildflowers drifted through the air, but Lila's mind was focused on one thing: getting home. As they approached the oak tree, Benny pointed a tiny leg ahead. See that stream past the tree? I think we need to follow it. The butterfly grove should be nearby. Lila's wings fluttered with hope. That sounds right. But what if I forget the way again? Benny gave her a reassuring smile. That's why I'm here. We'll stick together. They swooped down, gliding past the ancient tree's thick branches. But as they neared the stream, a sudden gust of wind rushed through the meadow. Lila gasped as the wind pushed her off course. Benny, she cried. I'm right here, Benny shouted, flapping his wings harder. He darted toward her and gently guided her back on track. Just keep steady. Lila took a deep breath and followed his lead. The wind soon calmed, and they continued their journey. Just as they reached the stream, Benny's keen eyes spotted something ahead. A delicate spider's web stretched between two tall reeds. It shimmered in the sunlight, almost invisible. Careful, Lila, there's a web, Benny warned. Lila gasped, flapping her wings just in time to avoid it. That was close, Benny chuckled. Spiders are great at making tricky traps. We have to be careful where we fly. They soared higher, safely avoiding the web, and continued along the stream. The water sparkled as dragonflies zipped across the surface, their wings catching the sunlight. Lila's heart lifted. She was getting closer to home, but soon another challenge appeared. A large puddle stretched across the meadow, its surface rippling from the wind. For Benny, it was no problem. He could easily hover over it. But Lila hesitated. I can't fly over this, she said, worried. My wings are too light. The air feels different above the water. Benny thought for a moment, then smiled. I have an idea. Grab onto this leaf. He plucked a broad leaf from a nearby plant and held it in front of Lila. Glide over the puddle with it. It'll help you stay steady. Lila carefully held the leaf between her tiny legs and flapped her wings. To her surprise, it worked. The leaf balanced her, allowing her to drift safely across. I did it, she cheered. Benny buzzed proudly. See? You're braver than you think. With the puddle behind them, they flew on, the lavender-scented air growing stronger. The butterfly grove was near. We're almost there, Lila, Benny said. Lila's heart filled with excitement, but their journey wasn't over yet. The greatest challenge was still ahead. Benny and Lila soared through the sky, the scent of lavender growing stronger with each beat of their wings. The butterfly grove had to be close now. Lila's heart fluttered with excitement, but before she could celebrate, a large shadow passed over them. Benny's antennae twitched. Something wasn't right. A loud screech echoed through the meadow. Lila gasped. Benny, what was that? Benny turned sharply, his sharp eyes spotting the danger. A bird, a sleek, blue-feathered bird circled above them, its beady eyes locked onto them like a hawk. It's looking for food, Benny said urgently. We have to move. Fast! Lila's wings trembled. I'm not fast enough, Benny. What do we do? Benny thought quickly. Follow me! We need to get to cover! The two darted downward, weaving between tall stalks of golden grass. The bird let out another screech and swooped after them, its wings slicing through the air. Benny's heart pounded. He had to keep Lila safe. "Stay close to me!" he called. Lila flapped her wings as hard as she could, but the bird was gaining on them. Its sharp beak snapped at the air just behind them. Benny scanned the meadow. They needed a hiding spot. Fast! Then he saw it, a thick patch of tall grass ahead. "In there!" he shouted. Lila followed Benny as they dove into the dense grass, their tiny bodies disappearing among the blades. They landed on a soft leaf, breathing heavily. The bird screeched above them, circling in confusion. It had lost sight of them. Benny and Lila held their breath, waiting. The bird flapped its wings and let out an annoyed chirp before finally flying away. Lila sighed in relief. That was so scary. Benny nodded, still catching his breath. It was, but you were brave, Lila. You didn't panic and you followed me. That's what got us through it. Lila looked at him with wide eyes. I guess I did. I never thought I could be brave. Benny smiled. Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you keep going, even when you are. Lila thought about that and then nodded. I understand now. They waited a little longer to make sure the bird was really gone. When the sky was clear, Benny peeked out from the grass. I think it's safe now. Let's keep going. Lila took a deep breath and followed him into the open air. The two friends flew on, their wings lighter now that the danger had passed. In the distance, Benny spotted something familiar. Tall lavender flowers swaying in the breeze. Lila, look, it's the butterfly grove, Lila gasped in joy. We made it! Excitement bubbled in her chest as they rushed forward. Soon, she would see her family again. Lila's heart raced with excitement as she and Benny flew toward the tall lavender flowers. The soft purple petals swayed gently in the breeze, filling the air with their sweet scent. Beyond them, bright-winged butterflies flitted gracefully, their colors blending with the blossoms. My family, Lila cried happily. She sped ahead, her wings beating with renewed energy. Benny followed close behind, smiling as he watched Lila's joy. As they approached, a group of butterflies noticed them. One, with shimmering orange wings, gasped and flew forward. Lila? Mom! Lila exclaimed, rushing into her mother's embrace. The other butterflies gathered around, their eyes wide with relief and happiness. Oh, Lila, we were so worried, her mother said, wrapping her wings around her. Where have you been? Lila turned to Benny, her eyes shining. I got lost, but Benny helped me find my way back. He was so brave. Benny blushed. I just did what any friend would do. Lila's mother smiled warmly. Thank you, Benny. You are a true hero. The other butterflies murmured in agreement. Yes, thank you for protecting Lila, one said. You're very kind, another added. Benny felt a warm glow in his heart. He had only wanted to help, but hearing their gratitude made him feel special. Would you like to stay for a celebration? Lila's mother asked. We must thank you properly. Benny's wings buzzed happily. I'd love to. The butterflies led Benny to the center of the grove, where they gathered on a large, soft leaf. Lila's family brought out sweet nectar, and they all shared stories and laughter. As they enjoyed the feast, Lila turned to Benny. You taught me something important today. Benny tilted his head. What's that? That being brave doesn't mean not being afraid, Lila said. It means doing the right thing, even when you are. Benny beamed. Exactly, Lila smiled. I'll always remember that. As the sun began to set, Benny knew it was time to go home. Thank you for the wonderful feast, he said. but I should head back before it gets dark, Lila's mother nodded. You will always be welcome here, Benny. Lila fluttered beside him. I'm so glad I met you. Benny grinned. Me too. And if you ever need a guide again, you know where to find me. With a final wave of her wings, Lila watched as Benny took off into the sky, his tiny body glowing in the golden light. As he flew back across the meadow, Benny felt proud. Today, he had not only helped a friend, but also learned the true meaning of bravery. And deep in his heart, he knew that this was just the beginning of many more adventures to come.